Hi, I'm James Kisner, Managing Director and Research Analyst at Water Tower Research. We're initiating coverage of BullFrog AI, ticker BFRG, and I'd like to briefly share some of the key points discussed in our initiation report. Let me start with the problem because it frames everything else. Bringing a new drug to market typically takes 10 to 15 years and $1 to $2 billion, and even then, roughly half of the drugs that reach phase 3 still fail, often from picking the wrong target or not knowing which patients a drug actually helps. BullFrog uses AI to attack exactly those inefficiencies, aiming to raise the success rate of drug development while cutting the time and money it takes. So what makes BullFrog hard to copy? In the report, we argue its competitive edge rests on two things that are genuinely difficult to replicate: a differentiated algorithm and access to differentiated data. We dive into both. On the algorithm, the engine at the center of the platform is causal, not just correlational, and was originally developed by the Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory for national defense work. BullFrog holds an exclusive worldwide license to 3 granted U.S. patents covering it, with protection running into 2037 and 2038. Two features matter most. It's explainable, so unlike a black box model, it can show why it reached a conclusion, which is essential when regulators and internal review boards have to sign off. And it's built for what management calls deep but narrow data, the small sample, variable rich data sets common in biomedical research that often trip up conventional AI. On the data, an algorithm like that is only as good as the data it can reach. BullFrog's relationships, including its work with the Lieber Institute for Brain Development, have given it access to rare neuropsychiatric data that competitors can't easily get. Now, a quick note for anyone newer to the space. The story involves terms like causal analytics, target identification, biomarker discovery, and patient stratification. So if those are unfamiliar, Figure 3 in our report defines each one in plain English with a simple example. A few things stand out about the BullFrog story. First, the platform is now a complete end-to-end suite. BF Prep cleans and prepares messy research data in days instead of months. BF Leap, the flagship engine, finds the actual biological drivers of disease rather than mere correlations. And BF Arenas, launched in March 2026, helps clients act on the findings. Second, the platform has already produced real results. Working with Aleson Pharmaceuticals, BullFrog reanalyzed years of phase 3 pancreatic cancer data and identified a patient subgroup that lived about 3 times longer than other patients. Those findings were later presented at a major cancer conference. Third, a first deal with a top 5 global drug maker announced in March 2026 marks a turning point. It applies BF Leap to major depressive disorder, an $8 billion plus market. Management expects more pilots this year. A balanced view has to acknowledge the challenge. BullFrog has recognized very little revenue to date, and as we put in the report, converting that validation into recurring multi-million-dollar engagements is the central operating challenge from here. The encouraging part is how lean the company is, just 9 full-time employees and roughly $6 million of annual cash burn, and a cost structure that creates real operating leverage if revenue scales. Let's talk valuation. BullFrog trades at roughly 0.8 times our 2027 estimated sales and 0.3 times our 2028 estimated sales, well below peer medians of about 25 and 28 times respectively. In other words, a significant discount. BullFrog AI has a meaningful addressable market opportunity in AI-driven drug discovery, and peers executing on their commercial pipelines command significantly higher multiples. That's a quick take. There's much more in the full report, including technology, the competitive landscape, our financial estimates, and the risks. I hope you'll read our initiation report on BullFrog AI. Our content on BFRG is located on our website at www.watertowerresearch.com. Our content and events are complimentary to all investors.